Welcome to the Nash Attack. It is another fun, funky Friday here at the Nash Attack. Just want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Appreciate everybody who listened to my last episode. I heard some people who told me they tried ChatGPT and that they really liked it for some party planning, and I thought that was really cool. So check out that last episode and learn how to use those AI tools. Of course, there's something I said in the episode that's been echoing in my head, and I knew as I said it, it was wrong. And I was like, oh, I should make a point to go back and fix that, and I didn't. At one point, and this is just the smallest thing, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. At one point, I said that, oh yeah, AI is machine learning, and AI and machine learning are separate things. I'm not going to explain how they're separate and why, but I just know that I said that and that was a mistake, and I wanted to clarify that before some AI nerds come on here and check me, because I told you I'm not like an expert or anything, but just wanted to clarify that. Today, I can't handle another technical informational topic like AI, so we're just going to stick to the easy stuff today, like TV. I was actually asked by a friend to recommend some shows and talk about some shows that I'm watching, so that way they can catch up and we can all catch up together. And I was like, that's a really, really good idea. I appreciate that. And of course, I watched the Vanderpump Rules reunion, and it was incredible. I will save that for the end, so that way if you are not following that and you are sick of hearing me talk about Vanderpump Rules, because it's been a couple episodes at this point, I completely understand. You'll be able to dip out at the end. But before that, let me just say to my buy me a coffee, www.thenashattack.com/tips, or buy me a coffee, whatever the hell my coffee thing is, where you can choose to have me watch a show or do something. I have that going on my website. Somebody paid for me to watch the first episode, or an episode, I guess. They didn't specify which one. And it's my girl, Audie C, who I adore and who you all know and love, and who will be back on this podcast at some point. I'm just now putting that in the universe. I hope you know, girl, because I watched The Bear. She recommended that I watch it and give it a chance. Wow. It was intense. Very good show. It's one of those, though, where I feel like I didn't watch it right as it was coming on and everybody was watching it. So, you know how sometimes you just kind of miss the pop culture boat on something? And I kind of felt that way about this. Like, I was a little too late to get into it, but I'm glad I watched it. I will have a couple of spoilers for the very first episode, but like I said, this show's been out forever. Everybody else has already watched it. I'm late to the game, so I'm probably not spoiling anything for you because you're probably way ahead of things and have already watched this show. My first thought in the first episode, you know what I really wasn't expecting? And this is going to sound really stupid. You're like, wow, well, you're dumb. Yeah, I don't know why. Even though it's the title of the show, wasn't expecting an actual bear. Don't know why. Have no idea. I don't know why. I am just assuming, and this is just from my context clues from the first episode, and maybe I'm wrong, that the bear was like another restaurant or something that he worked at, or was some crazy boss or something that he's having flashbacks or something to. I don't know if it's an actual bear. I have to find out, though, so I'm going to keep watching. I really enjoyed the show. Great recommendation. So I appreciate when people recommend things that are really good. The pace is so fast. And I know that kitchens actually move that fast, and knowing chefs and knowing people who have worked in front of house and back of house, it really is that quick and that fast pace, and people moving behind each other. And for a TV show, directing and blocking and acting, absolutely incredible, because that was almost like a dance, how fast everything was going, and the chopping and the moving and everything. I thought that they did such a cool job with that. I really, really like the style of directing in the show. I just thought it was awesome. Really great piece of television. Oh, I've read at one point thing about the writer's strike that I think one of the writers for The Bear received a check for something like 3 cents. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The amount of character and exposition and depth and and storyline and plot and great muscular arms that we get in this first episode. And y'all have the nerve to be paying these writers pretty much nothing for it, and everybody's streaming it. So that is a huge bummer. This is why we have to get these writers' terms fixed, because that's absolutely nuts. Because this show, it's so good. Just from one episode, I'm so impressed with the writing of it. And you tell me how a robot's going to write something like that. It's not. It never will. So I loved it. Thank you for the recommendation. I can't obviously say any more about it because I don't really know any more about it. I only watched the one episode. I've been so in the weeds with Bravo stuff lately. It's embarrassing. And other reality shows. I just watched the one episode. And so that is what I have on The Bear. Thank you so much for the $10. Worth it. Glad I have a new show on my radar. Definitely going to finish it. You can hit that feature at www.thenashtag.com/tips. And there's a lot of things. I mean, if you want me to buckle down and watch a whole season, I'll do it. That's not $10, but I'm willing to do it. Okay, so as we prepare for the weekend and you're looking for something to watch as you're going through, I'm just going to throw out some shows that I've really enjoyed, that I think my listeners will enjoy, that you maybe missed, that maybe just kind of slid by, you didn't catch it. I'm just going to let you know. Or maybe it was when I was off the air because I was gone for a while and I didn't get a chance to tell you about it. But let's start with Cruel Summer. Let me tell you the chokehold this show had on my friends. We were obsessed. It takes place in the 90s. There's like time warp stuff going on, which is really interesting, like time jumps, great 90s music, and just a general premise of the show is that a popular girl goes missing, and then this other girl somehow ends up becoming very popular and almost taking her place. And then the girl comes back. She ends up coming back. And you have to just watch the show. I can't spoil anything. And there's a season 2 of Cruel Summer that's about to come out. And I think it's going to be more in the 2000s. It's just a show that does a phenomenal job with the 90s. I know that season 2 has absolutely nothing to do with season 1. So it's not one of those where you have to watch it for continuity purposes. I think you should just watch it because it's really good female driven show. Lots of young women, lots of really dynamic stories. Harley Quinn Smith is in it, Kevin Smith's daughter, and she is an incredible actress. I did not know how talented she is. It's so worth it. Cruel Summer. I believe that you can stream it on Hulu. Search it on your streaming stuff. It's somewhere. Go watch that first season and then let me know what you think once you get to the end. You just gotta let me know. You're gonna die. It's crazy. It's so much. Okay, another show that I love. It's one that I started with my best friend and we just have kept going with it. We are big Firefly Lane fans here in the Nashtag group of friends. I love the show. It's got Sarah Chalk and it's got Katherine Heigl, and okay, maybe I like shows with the time warp thing because they also do. It takes place in the 80s and then the 90s and then the 2000s and then, well, not present day, early 2000s, because that's where the story ends. And oh my God, it's just about two best friends and you see them growing up together and how they rely on each other, but it's a codependent relationship. There's a guy involved that they're both chasing but not chasing. Katherine Heigl's character is a fabulous reporter, and so we get a lot of that girl power, working career professional storyline that's really cool, and Sarah Chalk supporting her, and she's a producer on the show. Really cool show. And then it just gets so sad. So sad. And they broke it up into 3 parts. It's only 2 seasons, but they did like the first season, they dropped it and it was very sad. And then the second season dropped and oh my God, the end of it is just devastating. And then part 3, or I guess season 2, part 2, I cried the whole time. I don't think there was a point. beyond like the fourth episode where I wasn't dry heaving, crying, looking a mess. It was one I snuck and watched and stayed up really late once everybody went to bed because I didn't want to freak people out because I knew it was going to be that bad. It was already going through a lot. They really do a good job of like, you never want your best friend to be in pain. And so just the way that everything was, it was a lot. Good watch. Let me stop talking about it before I actually cry like a loser on this podcast. And let me tell you about a comedy. I'm going to give you a comedy that there's a good chance you have not heard of. It is on Netflix. I really enjoyed it. My nephew told me about it whenever he came to visit, and we all watched it every evening. We'd watch an episode whenever he came over. It was a great time. Great time. Oh, not my nephew, my cousin. It's my husband's cousin. My cousin, whatever. The show is called Kunk on Earth, and it's basically a parody of Planet Earth. And the host is so funny. You will love it. I can't even explain how funny it is. And it's just the driest British humor. And she gets all of these experts, to do interviews with. And she's serving up deadpan comedy in the questions every single time. And it's hilarious. And these people are real experts trying to answer these questions. So good. Highly recommend. Check that out. Also, I'm sure you've heard about this one. This one maybe hasn't gotten past you, but if it has, it's a good comedy. It's still pretty fresh. You can get on it while everybody's still talking about it. And before some of the stuff gets ruined, you need to watch Jury Duty. It was on something called Freevee, an app called Freebie. I don't know. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Jury Duty. So funny. It's a documentary of jury duty, what it would be like doing jury duty. And actually, it's not really that at all. All the people are actors except for one guy, and he has no idea, and it's his experience. And James Marsden is there. I don't want to give away too much, but it's one of my favorite things James Marsden has ever done, and I am a huge James Marsden fan. He is so funny in that. You have to watch Jury Duty. It's so worth it. It's a good little couples watch. It's a quick watch. It's a good watch alone, but it's funny. You'll laugh. You'll enjoy it. Great replay value. You're going to have a good time with it. Go watch Jury Duty. If you have, let me know your thoughts on it because I love talking about it with people. Okay, one more recommendation. This is actually a movie. Maybe you have seen it. Maybe you haven't seen it. It is on Hulu. I am obsessed. It's one of my absolute favorite movies. We love it. Household favorite. Vacation Friends. It's got Molly and TSA Bay from Insecure. So you already know it's going to be hilarious. They were so good. And then I don't know why or what's, I don't know. Just, I love John Cena as an actor. I think he is so funny. I will watch anything that he's in. I love Blockers. I don't know why. I cannot explain why, what the hold is he has on me, but he makes me giggle. He is so funny. And he's so good in that. And I feel bad I don't know the other actress's name who plays his girlfriend, but she's the girl from Search Party. Ooh, Search Party's another show. We should talk about that. But she's the blonde girl from Search Party who plays the best friend. I love her. I mean, it's such a cute movie. It's a comedy. It's a quick comedy. You know that I don't like comedies that run like 3 hours. What are we doing? No, it's great. It's diverse. It's like about well-to-do Black people having a wedding. It's fantastic. And there's like a vacation portion of the movie and then a wedding portion of the movie, and both parts are done so well. It's very funny. I think you're going to enjoy it. Good laughs, very light and easy breezy. I mean, in this economy, are we really trying to watch horror movies? I'm just kidding. If that's your judge, you do what you want to do. But if you're wanting something like light and take your mind off things, Vacation Friends, if you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Super cute. And then let me give you a reality TV recommendation before I go into my reality TV rant. I watched the Queer Ultimatum, the second season of the Ultimatum that they put on Netflix. Iconic. So good. cannot wait for the next batch of episodes. I don't want to spoil anything because it just came on. You have to watch it so we can talk about it in depth. Just get on right now. Stop everything. Stop this podcast. Get on Netflix and go watch The Ultimatum, the Queer Ultimatum, which I'm just going to say it. Missed opportunity. Should have called it The Ultigatum, but fine. Netflix won't hire me for their marketing department, so whatever. No, but seriously, it's really good. It's like women loving women focused. Awesome show. Absolutely awesome show. There's a lot of kind of complaints about people saying that they wish that they would have used everyone's pronouns or put out everyone's pronouns. I definitely agree. But I do think the lesson was kind of there for everyone, that we can use our brains and listen to people talk for a little bit and then pick up on what their pronouns were. I could tell by the end what people were identifying as, and it was nice to figure that out. But it also, it would have been much easier if they just told us up front. But, I'm done. I don't play games with people. I'm done. I don't play the transphobia. Y'all know. You know what it is. You know what pronouns are. You know why people do it. You know why people change their names. Like, stop. I don't play this with people anymore. Not in 2023. Like, you know what it is. And if you don't, I am happy to school you on it. I'll send you many an article. I think if you are still, for some reason in 2023, uncomfortable with queer love and women loving each other and whatever it may be, this is going to be a great show for you to watch, so you can actually hear the depths of people's relationships and of queer relationships, and that it is serious and people want to be married and everything, where you should watch it if you still have weird beliefs about that. But I'm hoping the hashtag listeners are a bit evolved beyond that. I feel like I don't really have to explain this stuff to you guys, which is really nice. I appreciate that. But if you do need an education or you want that, you can always hit me at nashthenashtag.com and I will email you a billion resources and teach you about pronouns and whatever you need. I'm happy to do that for you. Happy to take that burden on, and because we got to stop putting that on trans people. Like, people are just trying to live and be safe out here. It can't be educating you 24/7. Okay, now I've gone off on just a rant. Sorry. Okay, so those are all the shows that I really wanted to recommend for you guys. Cruel Summer, if you want a mystery kind of show. Firefly Lane, if you want a drama and you want to cry yourself to the point where you're dehydrated and have a headache and are sick the next day. Conk on Earth, if you want to laugh and laugh and laugh, that is the show. If you want to keep laughing, the movie you should watch is Vacation Friends, if you miss that. And then another show full of great laughs, great talent, Jury Duty. And then I am going to continue watching The Bear because I need to know how that turns out. And then the show I just mentioned, The Ultimatum. I want you guys to watch The Queer Ultimatum so we can talk about it in the next couple of weeks, because they're going to drop the next batch of episodes soon. So I want us to be able to chat about it. If you are tired of hearing me talk about Vanderpump Rules, go on and dip out. It was great to hear from you. Hit up www.thenashtag.com for more episodes. Hit the tip jar. If you're sticking with me, let's get into it. We are going in depth into the Vanderpump Rules reunion, part 1. I hope you watched it because we're talking about it. Spoilers, full steam ahead, opinions. I'm digging in. We going deep into this. So I watched it the night that it aired, and then I watched the Peacock version. Let me tell you, honey, the Peacock version is epic. I loved the extended version. I want an extended version of everything. I want an unedited version of everything, because the reunion the first night, it was so hard to hear everything with the bleeping and people talking over each other. And Andy really struggles to control the group sometimes. And everybody's real wound up at this reunion. And I totally get it. But for some reason, Andy and Lisa They're trying to pretend like they don't get what's going on or they don't quite understand the gravity of the situation. And it's almost annoying. Like, well, what makes this situation different whenever Andy asks that? And then, well, you're all a bunch of cheaters. This is a group of cheaters. Like, that was some huge smoking gun. And they're like, yeah, but the major difference is we didn't do this for 7 months while the cameras were rolling in front of the camera, sneaking around, making stupid jokes about it with a partner of 9 years. Like, it's a completely different circumstance. There's so much nuance. Yeah, they're all cheaters, but it's not black and white. I feel like we have on this podcast, on Reddit, everywhere else, we have managed to figure that out and establish why this has become such a phenomenon. I found that to be really funny that he thought that he like really got them and was going to really quiet everyone down with that. And it didn't work because they stayed rowdy and stayed on that ass. It was fantastic. I said it last week on the podcast. I'm not here for the Tom tears. Tom can dry those tears on up. You don't do stuff like this. And I love that they shut it down. And that was why the Peacock version was great. I loved all of the swearing. Like I thought it was fantastic just being able to hear it and know what was actually being said and the overlap. It's just so funny. And again, we still don't really have the timeline. At first, I'm telling you, he has said multiple times that it happened at the Mondrian, night of the Mondrian. And then now he's saying that it happened at the See You Next Tuesday. I don't know if they're pushing it out a week so it doesn't sound as bad, so it's not as close to Ariana's dog dying, whatever it may be. But the timeline is still murky, even though that's what they've said. They've said differently too many other times. They just lie, just lie to be lying. It's so obnoxious. Oh, and then to hear that Tom, I've said it. I'm just gonna keep going back to my other podcast. We're getting into it. I'm telling you, this is like a heated, sit down, grab your coffee. Like we're talking about this. I was annoyed hearing that Tom was staying at the house, but at last I heard like, oh yeah, they had a person to run interference so they don't have to see him. But it turns out at the beginning it wasn't like that. He was just showing up, traumatizing and re-traumatizing her, as she said, just showing up randomly and not letting her know whenever he was coming by. Just awful, real gross dude stuff. And I loved Lala calling him out and saying that he's just another Randall scandal, love lies and Vanderpump loser. And then Lisa having the nerve to try and shut it down. And every fiber of my being completely came to life every time they shut LVP down. I'm sick of her siding with dudes. She's always siding with some old pervert over these loyal young women who have been there for her, worked hard for her, ran a restaurant for her, dressed up and danced for her, business partners for her, and all this stupid shit over the years. And she's still, I want to be friends. What if we're not going to be friends anymore? If I keep talking to Tom, like, yeah, maybe she's not going to feel confident confiding in you if you're still talking to her cheating ex. Like, what do you think this is? And then telling Lala she needs to calm down. Are you kidding me? No, like ramp it up times 10. I know that it made it a little bit hard to answer or listen to all of the answers. Lala and James freaking out. But this was the first time that they got to see Tom. So I get why emotions were that high. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't get why they're pretending like, why are you guys so upset about this? They hurt their friend. Like, these aren't kids anymore who are super intimidated by LVP and, oh, if we say the wrong thing, we won't get to be on the show anymore. It's like, Lisa, you're the part of the show that's not really delivering or bringing anything new or any interesting content. So I'm glad they kind of gave it back to her and didn't let her do that, because it's always for so long been, we have to like kiss the ring and listen to what Lisa has to say, and she's going to make you feel bad about it. I'm glad they just pushed past that. Like, no, you are wrong for supporting Tom in this. you should probably unfurl your business with him. And it sounds like he doesn't even have any money tied up in it anymore. My other favorite part, aside from them checking Lisa and her looking shocked every time, you're telling me to stop? Oh, I loved that. That was so funny. My other favorite part was finding out how much money they made on something about her merch. $200,000. That's freaking fantastic. I thought that was hilarious. Both Toms looked absolutely gooped. Tom Schwartz, who's sitting there like an idiot and has the nerve to be like, this is like a therapy session. No, it's not. It's not like therapy. You should try real therapy. It might do you good, sir. Oh my gosh, such good TV. The unedited Peacock version, I cannot recommend it enough. If you are not paying for Peacock, I'm just going to go ahead and be the person in your life to tell you, invest in that or find somebody with a password for that, because it is so good. And I loved the unedited version. And I loved that we got to see so many classic VPR clips unedited and get to hear the swear words and hear what actually was going on and the real inflections. I didn't think it would be that different, but it really was. It was different. It made it a little bit more compelling, and it reinvigorated some old clips that I've already seen like a million times. Great television. So that's all I'm going to say for the Vanderpump Rules reunion part 1. I appreciate you listening to this rant. I hope that you watch some of the things that I recommended. Feel free to hit the tips thing on my website to recommend some other stuff, because I would love some other things to talk about. Let me know if you have any topic ideas or anything that you want to hear me chit chat about. Definitely looking for guests to come on the podcast. I'm hoping to have some friends hop back on the mic with me soon. You can check out this episode at www.thenashattack.com, and you can check out my Instagram at the Nash Attack Podcast. Yeah, so just hope that you guys have such a fantastic weekend. Hope you get to chill and do something nice for yourself. And aside from listening to this podcast, obviously, because what a treat. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have such a good one. And I will talk to you when I talk to you.